So one of the things that intraday traders will typically ignore, as we've talked about many times, are the daily time frames. Daily time frame scanning sets up daily time frame setups of their own, many of which we have. Grocery store commodities to the long side, that part of our book is absolutely taking off like a rocket ship. But what about this morning? How can I look at the daily time frame to maybe better understand when the intraday sell-off is going to find support? Well, it's got to overlap. So again, we got some selling to kick off the month in the morning. Where could the intraday find support? Well, this is our HPMR, our volatility zone down in here. Right? A simple calculation I created using AutoChartist data. So I would expect there to be a little bit of support. The V-score keeps saying yes, but right now the V-score is a little bit out of its... We want to see not just the V-score out on its own, but the V-score overlap with a major psychological level or an HPMR or just some other kind of setup. Well, sometimes that some other kind of setup can be found on the daily. This is our 10-day. The closer we get to that level, the more interesting an intraday setup could be, because now it's not just an intraday exhaustion level. Now it's overlapping with a daily time frame level as well. And that's where you'll notice when I'm scanning the markets, even when we're intraday trading in the room, I'll just kind of move the daily off to the side, because seeing the proximity to a level like that could be really, really helpful in terms of clarity. Now, I will also say that level is down at 630, 637, right? So think about how the overlap is occurring, right? Are the levels between the V-score and the HPMR and the VWAPs lining up, but now we're using two different time frames. And that's a really neat thing for day traders to be able to do. It's a very simple thing for day traders to be able to do. So think about that, because that use of the daily, number one, feeds our scanning end-of-day charts, crude oil and RBOB and the currencies that we're long in and the grains that we're long in. So it definitely keeps the pulse of the daily, but it also will keep you looking at levels intraday in a way that might make it more clear when a market's reaching some sort of exhaustion. So let's look at another example. So if the NQ is bottoming out, well, then it's not too far out of the realm of possibility that the ES might be as well. Here's our HPMR zone. It doesn't line up quite as well, but here's our HPMR zone, 4,200 to 4,195. Here's 4,190. And notice where our VWAP is. That's the zone here, which lines up with this. And just below that is so the closer we get to that level, the more likely we're going to get support. All right, what about the Dow? I don't want you guys thinking this is just a one-off. What about the Dow? 34,390? Okay, nowhere near. Okay, so if you're thinking, well, could the Dow go lower? Yeah, it actually could. It really could. Is it going to bounce maybe from the upper end of our HPMR to our HPMR zone, which encompasses the average to high range in here? It could, but it's not going to have daily help. And that's okay. It doesn't need it, but when you see they do coincide, you've got something pretty special.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me